camera there if you want to look.
Okay.
You don't have to look into the camera if you don't want to.
Okay.
But, you know. Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with another makeup party. And coming to the party this week, one of my favorite Canadian comedians, and soon to be yours, Shannon Laverty. How are you, my lover?
I'm great, Wilma. How are you?
I am all right. You look
great.
Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Not finished gorgeous, but you are my second guest for the Wilma's makeup party.
Great. That's great.
And I thought the last time I did it, I blocked eyebrows and did all the base and everything, and I thought, we don't need to do that every time.
No, it's kind of boring, yeah.
And now I feel badly that we don't have a look of you before. I didn't even take a picture of you when you walked in.
Here, that's it, right there.
There we go.
Shirt.
Shannon is a fantastic working comic in Canada. She tours. You're represented by Yuck Yucks. She's been on TV. She's been on all sorts of things. One of the things the last time you and I worked together that I loved was that you had merch. I love merch. I always grab the merch. And this is your merch for your, is this the same name of the album?
That's my first CD. It was called Don't Shush Me.
Don't Shush Me. And I think at the time it was a very funny part of your act, but it's since become way more universally political.
Yeah.
I think all women know how horrible it is to be shushed.
Well, and it's when I first came out with that, because that was the original name of my my CD that I first, because people love CDs.
I'm sorry. What's that, Grandma?
So when it first came out, that was the name of it, and I named it that because I got shushed for something, and plus when I first started in comedy, I was told, you know, I was banned from things. I was boycott, like I was not allowed to do certain shows because I was a woman and I was saying things that were too racy. So too scary, too sexual.
Because you're not using the same 5 topics all the men were using.
Well, yeah, exactly. So then it was funny because when I came out with the CD, I gave it to a friend of mine, and she told me a story about how her husband, when they were having a baby, and she's in the birthing bath, and she's like, she goes, oh, I was moaning, and I was like, and then he just was like, shh, shh, shh. And then she just looked at him and just grabbed him around the throat and said, don't you shush me.
Good for her.
Yes.
So are you having problems with me pushing your prodigy out of my hoo-ha?
Baby out of me.
Oh.
Don't shush me.
God,
So.
you see these guys that have a poop long enough to put glasses on, and they think they've just saved the world, you know. Pigs. And do you still have these for sale?
I do have them for sale.
Yeah, because I think that everyone should buy one. I just think you should. Because first of all, V-neck. Hello.
The
hello.
Best. And soft spun cotton.
The softest cotton.
Yeah.
I was so surprised. And the largest size you have is a 3X. And this is
3X,
roomy on me.
Yeah.
Just saying, roomy. I like it being roomy.
And I go as small as an extra small, but I don't know who wears that.
And we don't care. You had them. They were there.
Tiny. I've sold a few, and then, you know, they go.
Well, babies need clothes, too.
They do. That's right. Oh, they also come in a hat, by the way.
Oh, you have a hat,
I have a
too.
hat, too, just so you know.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice.
There's a hat.
Now, you have another album or other albums, or is that your
I
only
have
album?
I have 2 albums.
Okay.
The second one is called Gym Selfies.
Gym Selfies. Now,
Yeah.
I need to say, through lockdown and all of that, and the couple of years that I haven't seen you, powerlifting.
I was doing some powerlifting.
You were looking pretty buff and mean.
I did, and then I had to pull back. It was, I mean, once COVID hit, there's nowhere to powerlift at that point either.
No, right?
Couldn't do that. So now I'm just back down to lighter weight.
A more friendly.
Yeah,
user-friendly.
like my deadlifts, I'm topping at 205 right now, which is fine. And then my leg press, I think, is like 565 or something.
Wow.
So that's not bad. My squats are not the best, but you know, that's all right.
You can work on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought for your look, because I have a little bit of a plan. We have a wig that you haven't seen yet, but we're going to do blue looks. So I'm using the Beauty Bay Midnight palette, which is
stunning.
All the blues you could want, and then a couple extras. Yeah.
So pretty.
I'm also using from Beauty Bay one of their makeup sets, their brush sets. This is a gift from David Burkett, one of my Patreoners. I only use this for guests.
I feel so special.
So, all right. So, where did you grow up?
Saskatoon,
Oh
Saskatchewan.
my God. You're the second person I've met from Saskatoon.
Oh.
What was that like? Oh, I keep forgetting. I always forget to put eye primer on. I always forget, even for myself.
Okay.
I get caught up in the drama of putting the makeup on, and then I forget.
What was life like growing up in Saskatoon? It was okay. It was a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking weed, partying, that kind of thing.
Keeping
that's it.
Ahead of the law.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, yes. As a matter of fact, when we were in grade, I think it was grade 9, I was sleeping in my backyard in a tent.
Like you do.
Sleeping in the backyard of the tent. Just because it was easier to sneak out, right?
Yeah.
It might have been grade 8. I think, no, it was grade 8.
How did you sell you sleeping in a tent in the backyard?
Because it was my friend and I were going to sleep in the backyard in the tent.
Oh, but you really were just going to hit it.
Yeah, so then we snuck off and went to the park to meet this guy, Phil, who was supposed to bring the cigarettes, and we had already stashed a couple of beers in a tire at the park.
Oh my God. So you already had set stuff up.
Oh yeah, it was hot though. The beer was already warm. It was so gross.
Oh, gross.
So we're sitting there waiting for Phil to show up. He's not getting there. And then, I can't remember if he showed up or not. No, he did show up. And then he's like, I couldn't get the cigarettes. And we're like, oh, this is a bust. This party's terrible. It's just 3 of us. And then we look over at one point and I go, holy shit, is that your dad's car over there? To my friend Carol. And she goes, oh my God, it's the cops. So we're like, oh no. So Phil starts running. I start running. The 3 of us are running. I'm not a good runner, just so you know. I'm still a chunky kid, not a good runner. And we end up, I'm like, hit the ground. Because I've seen too many TV shows. Right. And Carol keeps running. She gets to the hockey rink. And Phil and I are laying flat out. And they're like putting the light across us, looking to see if there's somebody in the field. They don't see us. And the car is parked. So here's a little wall. My friend Carol's standing right there. Yeah. And the cop car is like there. Oh. Like the front end of it. And she's standing right there. And then she just goes over into the hockey rink and hides. Oh. And the cops pull up. And they kind of look around. And then they drive across the field and leave. And we're like, we almost got picked up by the cops. Because you're grade 8, right? You don't know. Yeah. So then we run home. I still didn't get a cigarette. Oh, well. Yeah, that was Saskatchewan. That's, partying in a trailer park on the weekends.
Did you always want to do stand-up, be a performer? Do you remember?
No. It wasn't. I always wanted to be a performer, I think. And I didn't, it took many years before I realized how much performing I was kind of doing without knowing that I was doing it. Right. Because in school, I went to it was a big school with a very small population of kids. It wasn't in the best neighborhood at the time. And it was one of these really old schools that looked like a castle, and it was amazing. Anyway, we would have assembly every month, and one of the classrooms would always, do the assembly. So the class that I was in was a 1, 2, 3 split. Like, that's how little amount of kids there are. Wow. And then there's another class that was a 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8 were upstairs. So
that's the grades.
Those are the grades. Yeah. And so I always remember volunteering every time we did an assembly. I was always like, does anybody want to read the Bible?
I'll do it.
Does anybody want to MC? Does anybody else but Shannon want to do it? No? All right. Shannon can do it again. Yay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Force somebody?
Yeah. So I remember doing those a lot. And then we also would do like performances. So like I remember in grade 5, I think grade 4 or 5, we did, oh God, there was 2 assemblies. One was great. One was brutal. So embarrassing. So all the girls decided to do the Bee Gees song Staying Alive and dance to it. None of us had dance training, whatever. We were just going to do the whole like, Staying Alive. Right. And somebody had switched the record player to the slow play. And so it's like, Staying Alive. And we're trying to dance. And everybody made fun of us. Oh God, it was bad. And then another time we did some air guitar thing, and my brother and his friend John and other friend Paul, they were all pretending to be, John's trying pretending to be Elvis, and he's like air guitar into that. And the kids went crazy, and I came out and like, and fainted, and it was fabulous. So, yeah, I always like to act and do stuff like that.
When did you start doing stand-up?
March 1st, 1990.
Oh, you remember the date?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Because I looked it up. I finally looked it up again. It was Easter weekend in 1990. And I actually found, when I was home a few years ago when we were cleaning out my mom and dad's house. I found my original 5 pieces of paper that was my very first set on stage.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did it still stand up?
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh.
Like I was doing some joke about like, what's this? That's a blonde refueling. Ridiculous. And then
hack.
Speaking of hack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, such a hack. And then I was like, I don't even know. I did a whole thing about being, because I was a hairdresser as well, and so I was doing this whole thing about what the difference between a hooker and a hairdresser and how they're the same, and like you pump the guy up and then you like blow him and then like all this other stuff. Oh, I know, it's terrible. And then there was another one of the jokes. I was doing like, I looked up in this book called the Insomniac's Dictionary or something. And there was one word, ithaphilophobia, that always stuck out to me, which is the fear of an erect penis.
Oh my God.
I know.
What is it called?
Ithaphilophobia.
Ithaphilophobia.
Yeah. Do you have ithaphilophobia?
Never.
No, me neither.
No. In fact, what's the opposite of that?
I don't know.
I think it would just like a gaping maw. How did you do that night? Do you remember?
I killed.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, you were so calm and you put your hands in your pocket and you were like so relaxed. I go, I put my hands in my pockets because my hands were shaking.
Yeah.
But
yeah, nobody puts their hands in their pockets because it's comfortable.
No.
Usually to calm yourself down.
Yeah. But I had done like a lot of theater before that. Yeah. So it was, to me, it was just like I knew how to wait for a laugh because I was taught that in theater.
You have to have a sense of it.
Absolutely.
To begin with. You can't teach it.
No, you can't.
But you can explain it.
Yeah.
And if somebody can start to recognize it, you can get better.
Yeah.
But if you don't have it already, it's hard. It's a hard uphill. I know some people who've been able to develop it. They're timing better, but
it's the waiting for the laughter and knowing when to hit the next line.
Yeah.
Because I watch people who just like almost get to the point of like, you got to stop laughing so I can continue the joke. You're like, no, people are laughing. Let them laugh. Let them laugh. Let them laugh. And just as they're about to come down, then you hit them again.
Yeah. Did you have any interest in comedy before you started it? Like, were you a fan of stand-up, other people?
I mean, I watched, in that era, you watched Robin Williams and you watched Eddie Murphy, and those were sort of my stand-ups. I was not allowed to watch Richard Pryor.
No.
That was one that
Ooh, very blue.
So blue.
How long did it take you to get funny? Like, do you know what I mean? Like to be paid and to do like a proper... Because you're a headliner now. You do like what, 50, 40, 60 minutes?
Yeah, yeah. Between 40 to 60, depending on what the show is.
Right.
I got paid pretty quick in Saskatoon because I went to and did like the small towns and stuff. I was so excited. $25 to drive to Moose Jaw to take the headliner, and you get a hotel room.
Yeah.
What?
Woo.
Man, they were ripping you off. But it was still like cool and exciting and fun, and I bombed my life. I bombed so hard. But that's okay. That's okay.
The first time that you bombed, was it when you were being paid, or was it?
No.
Oh, so that's good.
No. I mean, I didn't bomb, but it was just like Moose Jaw in the 90s was not.
You just have to say Moose Jaw.
There we go. Sorry, Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw in the 90s, not the best. But I remember the very first show that I bombed. And I was maybe 3 months in at the time. And up until then, I'd been having good sets, and it was fun. And, you're an amateur, and you're like, oh, I'm doing all these things, and life is great. And they were doing a specialty show at the Yucks in Saskatoon. And it was for, I don't know why they thought I should be on this show. But it was for farmers who... Right there. So it was for farmers whose job is to, what's the proper terminology? Should we phone
a friend?
Masturbate bulls to get the sperm from them.
Yeah. So breeders.
Yeah. So they would masturbate bulls to get the sperm. And
Cow pimps.
yeah. And boy, they hated me.
Oh.
Oh, like, it's one thing if people are just like, next, whatever, that kind of thing, which is awful as well. Yeah. Awful. Yeah. But it's when you get nothing.
People always say how polite Canadians are.
Oh, this was nothing. Like, arms crossed, just staring. And then I'm done, and they don't even like nothing at the nothing. And I walk off, and they used to have like a half wall or a wall that they would block off parts of the room. And I went in the back, and I put my feet up on a chair, and I had a panic attack. And I was like, honey. Brutal. It took me a while. I was shell shocked after that.
Oh yeah? Did you take a break?
I didn't take a break. My shows I lost my confidence.
Oh.
I was still doing it, but I was like, I didn't feel like I was.
It was different. You were cowed a little.
Yeah.
Ironically, from the bull masturbators, bastards.
Yeah. I was just working with somebody this weekend, and they were saying how, like, everybody's laughing, having the best time, and there's one guy not, and he's like, all I could concentrate was on that one guy. I'm like, why is it we always look for the one person who's not happy with who we are?
I'll get that one person who'll leave a comment on my YouTube channel, and that's the one I change everything for. It's like, they're not even subscribed to me.
No, exactly.
Eat a penis.
Yeah.
So what is the best show you've ever had to do? Did you have one show where it's like, it'll never get better than this?
Oh, I remember where the standing ovation was. That was at Blue Mountain for the Narcotics Anonymous. And got a standing ovation for that. And then did another show at Blue Mountain for a corporate show. And I was saying goodnight and thanking everybody for coming. I mean, there was other people on the show. Like, so it was like Jeff McHenry and like Ian Sirota. Yeah, so the three of us had done the show. And we got a standing ovation. And I was like, 3 for 3, baby. This is great.
It's fun.
That was my first
Especially
encore.
when you're on the show with other people that you're not necessarily friendly with.
Yes. Ha ha.
You suck, and here's why.
Well, the best part is when somebody else is also there to see it. Like when
Witness.
like when I got it at the downtown, I know that somebody told the agent that I got a standing, or I put it online.
I always, when I'm at Yucks, because I host so often, when someone kills, I call the booker the next day and say, "Ooh, this one killed. Who is that?" Or especially if they're new.
Right.
Because, a lot of the other comics won't watch new people.
It's so funny because whenever I see you and your makeup and stuff, I'm always like, I want drag makeup. I always thought it would be fun to be put into drag as well.
I was so happy that you wanted to do drag makeup because I was actually thinking, I'll bet you she wants to do Drag King because I would have no problem doing that. But I was thrilled you didn't want to do that. No. Because I don't really have a lot of... I could do drag makeup, but I don't have like face hair and stuff like that.
I have one of those Snapchat pictures where it's what you would look like if you were a dude.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty hot. I would definitely sleep with me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're pretty hot anyway, and I think if we were somewhere long enough, I'd let you sleep with me. Because I can't imagine you take no for an answer. This is happening. Oh god.
All right, fine. Fine.
She's coming right for me. Now, speaking of hard.
Yes.
How do you find being a woman in comedy? Because it's very male. It's not male-centric, but it's male-supportive.
I feel like it's over the year. Like I don't know how to explain it. I always liked hanging out with the boys.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing that I'm comfortable with. And I also have a lot of girlfriends too. Yeah. So for me, it's always been okay. It's more the audience that is the issue than the actual comics that you work with.
Right.
The comics that I've worked with have been, there's been a few that have not been.
Well, there's always one or two. Yeah.
But for the most part, I've had great experiences working with it. But it's more an audience member will. And it was more when I first started too, because I didn't come out with the confidence that I do now.
Right.
And I would get on stage, and I remember being in Hamilton. This was my favorite moment. I came out on stage, and I hear this guy go,
a woman.
It's a woman.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing some jokes, and I look over and he's laughing. I go, "Oh, it's a woman." And he goes, and he goes, "I'm sorry, but you don't understand." I'm like, "It's fine. I get it."
You do understand. That's why you made a joke about it. Yeah. Don't look at it's hard to see the glitter when you have all these bright lights on. But, ooh.
Ooh, glittery!
I'm just going to put some extra glitter in the corner, some darker stuff, just to make it fun. Do you get a lot of hecklers?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
I can, yeah.
And why do you, what kind of hecklers?
Not necessarily heckling, but people that just want to have a conversation with
me.
me.
They're answering you.
Yeah, they answer me, or they just
that happened to me.
Want to be a part of it. Yeah.
Where's the furthest comedy's taken you, performing-wise?
South Africa.
Wow!
I know.
How fabulous! What did you think of that?
It was interesting. Mm-hmm. They had never really had a female comic there before.
Oh dear.
And
was it a festival or a gig?
No, it was a gig. I went for originally 2 weeks, and they asked me to stay an extra week, and I'm like, sure, first weekend, and then I was like, oh, I should have just gone home after 2 because it was just second week. The first week was amazing. The second week was I didn't enjoy it as much. We were in Cape Town.
Oh dear.
And I was with these 2 guys who were supposed to kind of watch out for me because it's super dangerous and do all these things. And they ended up just getting high on E every night. And I just hid in the hotel room after the show. And the shows weren't the greatest I was at this, oh my God, it happened to me twice in South Africa. It was quite funny. I was on stage in Cape Town. We were doing a bar in the casino. Mm-hmm. So picture it, if you will. Audience. Audience. Uh-huh. Bar. Uh-huh. Bartender. Uh-huh. Stage on top of the bar. So you're
over the bar.
Over the bar to the people. Over the bar. No doors.
Why don't you stand outside and knock on the window?
The whole time. And then finally,
how annoying.
I think I ended up hosting or something one of the shows. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're such a good host." And I'm like, Yeah, I am. But I was supposed to be headlining, and it was just 20 minutes of, because you can't connect with anybody because you're across a bar. Yeah. And so then it happened there, and then this guy's like, "Why don't you learn to speak proper English?" Because, my accent is Canadian. And they also thought I was American.
Of course.
I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
And then,
but you're not a typical American voice.
No.
I can understand why someone would think you're American.
Yeah.
I never assume anyone's American because I'm in Canada.
Yeah. So then we're in this bar. It's the second time I'm playing this bar in Johannesburg. Uh-huh. And it seats about 700 people. Oof. It's a huge bar. So it's layer after layer after layer after layer. Wow. People are all the way up, right? Uh-huh. And it's packed, and they're fun, and I'm getting my groove back this week finally. I'm chilling out. I'm doing new material that I hadn't done there. And this guy yells out, "Why don't you learn to speak proper English?"
In a nice, completely unintelligible South African accent.
So that everybody can hear, and I go, "Why don't you go fuck yourself?" And then the place erupted, and then I was like, "Okay, well, we're going from there." That's all I had to say, and then they were just like,
"They were fine."
"The woman never says that here," and it was kind of fun.
Well, just don't shush me.
Yeah, don't shush me.
All right, so close. Let's pray to the baby Jesus and hope that I don't.
Dear baby Jesus,
please grant me the skill to put these fabulous drag lashes.
It's always funny whenever I do a show for TV and stuff like that.
Right.
For Winnipeg Comedy Fest.
Right.
I was like, can you make it look like I have makeup on?
Yeah.
Because they always try to make you look so natural.
Neutral.
And I'm like, no. And I brought my red lipstick, and I'm like, I have red nails. I want red lipstick, and I want red lipstick. Yeah. I'm afraid of blush. Oh. I always feel like when I put blush on, especially now, I put blush here, right? Do my little blusher, whatever. I go out, and I'm like, ooh, I look like one of those old ladies who've not put their blush in properly.
Right.
I love them.
Eyelashes make it all better.
All better.
We have all of our blue powder on this one here. I'm just going to soften out that blue a bit. No, we look away. Help yourself, mama.
Look at how narrow my nose is. Oh my God.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. This is why I don't get the big lashes when I get my lashes done.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's.
I
feel like I have bangs in my face.
I know, the whole time. You're always like, oh.
Keep doing. So how long have you been doing stand-up now?
34 years.
And what's changed about your stand-up in those 34 years? Do you find it's just more like what's the sign of the times, or have you developed?
It's funny, when I first started, my mom's like, you won't be able to do those jokes forever. You're going to be too old for those jokes. And I'm like, oh, actually, well, she didn't sound like that. Her voice.
I was going to say.
Yeah, her voice was way lower. Her voice was way lower than that.
She had a Saskatchewan accent.
No, not even. But it was. I feel like I've grown into my act.
Yes.
Because when I was younger, everything I talked about, people are like, you haven't had that life experience.
You can't
and I'm
have
like,
lived this life.
But I have.
So when you use makeup, what kind of a makeup girl are you? Lots of color. Oh, yeah.
Lazy. I try to step out of my norm and do different things, but I stick to mostly like a really dark
palette.
Yeah, I stay with the darker palette. I try to do more of a smoky eye.
Yeah.
But it's it's a lazy smoky eye.
Right.
Oh, I remember going to, and I love MAC makeup. It's some of my favorite. Do
you still like it now that L'Oreal does it? Have you noticed a difference?
Well, yeah, actually, some of it's not as good. Yeah. But I went when I was out east, not that long ago, and went to the MAC counter and I was talking to the lady and I was like, oh, I want something a little more coverage for my foundation. I'm just finding, I don't know, too many lines are showing. I don't know what it is, but things are not right. Not knowing I could just put a primer on my skin and that would help a lot. And so she's like, oh, we have this new base. It's really great. This new foundation, you should try it. I use it. It's great. Like, it doesn't show your lines on it. The whole time I was like, darling, you look really liney. Like,
yeah. You shouldn't be selling anybody anything. You shouldn't
be selling me this. This isn't right.
That's funny. You weren't a big makeup girl when you were a girly girl?
Oh, I always have loved makeup. I'm just not like, I don't have the patience to sit for hours and do my makeup.
Yeah, it's better. Oh my God, it's so funny. All right, so you have beautiful lips, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I do this. There we go. I'm going to overdraw your lips because you have a lot of upper lip. You could wear a mustache. You could do a drag king really nicely because you got a lot of upper lip space.
I just got rid of my mustache. Look at this. I should be a ventriloquist. Or just put it.
What? You know how insane you look. I want to fix your eyeliner because it's a little too far away from your face, and it's making, in my opinion, it's making you look a little crazier than you normally look. Although after what you just said, I just can leave it and we'd be fine.
Oh, Wilma.
You're crazy.
I actually had a drunk woman come up to me at a bar one night and asked me where I got my lips done.
Oh, that's the best.
And I'm like, they're mine. Yeah. No, they're not. And she starts pushing on my lips. No, I go, they're mine. My parents gave them to me.
Yeah.
My dad. It's from my dad's side. It's fine. Leave them alone. Still touching
Isn't it amazing when people will, like, they just, no, you can't have real lips like that. It tells you how many, there's a lot of people out there that have beautiful lips.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just not in movies.
Yeah.
Because my finger's on your nose? No. What were you going to do? Are you going to be horrible and hateful?
No. I'm fine. Okay.
It's so hard for me to put eyeliner on other people.
It'd be great. My clients will be like, what's going on? Nothing. I'm leaving this on.
Nothing. If you have coconut oil at home, it's a great way to take off this kind of makeup.
I have Nivea cream.
Oh yeah,
years.
that's fabulous. That's the best.
I know.
I used to use it, but it's not cruelty free.
Oh, it's not?
No.
What do they do?
They squirt it into bunnies' eyes.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor bunnies.
Well, or yours. Which would be better?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Bunnies.
What will people think about the bunnies?
I mean, we should be at the point where we know what makes...
This formula does it, yeah.
That you don't have to test stuff on animals.
Yeah, stop improving it. It's fine.
Yeah. This known irritant to animals' eyes, we're just going to keep trying it on their face.
Let's see how it does.
Yeah.
Look at the kid. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were looking a little like ice cubes up the hoo-ha. Not in the fun way. Now we need highlighter.
All right.
The secret to all drag makeup is highlighter. I'm going to use this Moon Smut.
Moon Smut? That sounds like
this is a new product from Rude Cosmetics that, because it's got a bit of a glitter in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my new favorite thing.
Well, aren't I the smuttiest moon you've ever seen?
Well, yeah. Now, we're going to throw a wig on her and an outfit. We'll be right back.
Bye.
And there we go.
Ta-da!
Dragged up, no waiting. I'm a little surprised at how much like Wilhelmina you look.
A little bit.
A little bit. It's that startled, like, what happened to my face? Like,
I have to hold my mouth more like this, though, because I feel like Wilhelmina's more like this.
oh, she got those big old teeth. Though.
Yeah, she smiles.
Well, Shannon Laverty, thank you so much for coming to my makeup party.
Thank you for having me,
This was so
I
much.
appreciate it.
And for those of you who have been intrigued enough to find out more about Shannon Laverty and her fabulous comedy, just don't shush her is all I'm saying.
Don't shush me.
I will put links down below for her Instagram and her Facebook. She, especially if you're in Canada, she tours across Canada regularly. You do go to the States sometimes, don't you, if they ask?
No, just go to Vegas and gamble.
Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
then it's you time. Then it's you
Right,
time.
exactly.
I'll lend you this wig.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, keep it to yourself. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, why don't you do that too? Also, leave a comment down below. I love it when you have something to say, most of the times. And while we're talking about down below, shut it, channel. I have links in my description box for becoming a member of the Fingerdoo family on Patreon, getting your Wilma merch from my Redbubble store, or leaving a big old tipper-doo to support the channel. But the best way you can support the channel is subscribe, like, notification bell, and comment. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for doing this. This
Oh,
is
it's
so
my
exciting.
pleasure.
I've
I'm so
always
glad
wanted
you
to do
wanted-
this.
Oh, my
yeah,
God.
absolutely.
And until next time, that's me. Mwah. Seriously.
Bye.
I think you could fill in for me on it if I had to call in sick. I mean, there's so much makeup on. Who'd know?
All I need is just a little...
Oh, a beauty mark. Did I forget your beauty mark? Oh, you should have said something to me a lot earlier. Now you're beautiful.
Now I'm beautiful.
That's what was holding you back.
Exactly.
That's what was...